Yo, what's going on guys? Welcome back. I've been getting a lot of customers asking me how to properly defrost their frozen food. So since I've been getting a lot of people asking me how to do this, I'm putting this video together to go through several methods on how to defrost and thaw your frozen rodents. But also in this video, I plan on showing you how to store your frozen rodents at home properly. So by the end of this video, you will be able to choose between the different methods which I go over today to actually defrost and thaw your frozen rodents so they are ready for feeding off to your snakes. So let's begin the video. So to begin with, like I say, there are several methods to which you can use to actually defrost and thaw your frozen rodents at home. So for the first method, the first thing that you're going to need to do is actually remove the frozen rodent from the freezer. Now, once you've got your rodent out of the freezer, what I would recommend doing is placing the rodent into a jug like you can see me doing here. Then simply just fill the jug with hot water. Make sure the water is warm but not boiling water. It just needs to be warm or slightly hot. Then simply leave on the side for a few hours to defrost, and you can replace the water for fresh hot water again every 45 minutes if you would like to. By doing so, this is going to basically speed up the process because the water is a lot warmer, therefore your rodent is going to defrost a lot quicker. Then once you've fully defrosted your rodent, again you're going to want to warm up the rodent. And once you've warmed up your rodent, then you can get your rodent onto your feeding tongs and then simply offer it to your snake. So that's the first method. I use this method quite a lot. I find it's one of the quickest ways to defrost and thaw your frozen rodents. So now the second method is pretty much the exact same as the previous method. The only major difference is instead of using hot water, just use cold water instead. The downside to this method is it will take a lot longer. It's usually about an hour to an hour and a half longer than the previous method. But both of these methods work extremely well, and you'll have your rodent defrosted within a few hours. Okay, so now let's move on to the next method, which is thawing your rodent in the fridge. To do this method, simply again get your frozen rodent out of the freezer and then simply just put your rodent onto like a small plate. It could even be inside a Chinese takeaway container. Really doesn't have to be anything special. And then simply place this into the fridge. This method takes about 4 to 6 hours depending on the size of the rodent and also the temperature of your fridge at home. So make sure that you plan ahead for this specific method because obviously it's going to take quite a while for it to actually defrost before it's ready to be fed off to your pet snake. Now I will say most people who use this method tend to get the rodent out the night before and simply thaw it in the fridge overnight, and then in the morning the next day they will just simply feed it off to their snake. This allows the rodent to fully defrost overnight in the fridge, and then you're able to feed it off at a more convenient time. Now again, when you come round to actually feeding the rodent off to your pet snake, remember to warm the rodent up with warm hot water and then feed off to your snake whilst the rodent is warm. So that's that method. The next method is simply get yourself a container, like a Chinese takeaway container, place your rodent in and place it on the side to naturally thaw over several hours. Usually this will take about 6 hours plus, again depending on the size of your rodent. This way works extremely well, although I will say in my opinion it's not the best method, and the reason being is because the longer you leave the rodent out, just left on the side to thaw, the more bacteria is created. So in all honesty, you'll be better off using one of the other methods, in my personal opinion. Like I say, it's not going to kill your snake. I'm just a little bit funny when it comes down to bacteria being created. And the longer you leave it on the side, the more bacteria is going to grow. So I definitely think this is worth keeping in mind for this one. Now, just quickly, when you warm your rodent up before feeding to your snake, make sure it's not boiling hot water. You don't want it to be boiling hot water. You basically want the temperature of the water to be warm at around 96 Fahrenheit, which is around 37 degrees Celsius. Like I say, you don't want it too hot because otherwise you're going to burn your snake, or your snake is going to freak out if the rodent is way too hot. Also, if you use extremely hot water, you'll likely find the rodent will basically pop whilst you're holding it with the feeding tongs. And in all honesty, it's pretty disgusting, but it's popping because it's way too hot. Talking of which, reminds me about something else, which I should probably recommend not to do. And that's warming your rodents up in the microwave. Please don't do this. The rodent will most likely explode in your microwave. And also it's not really hygienic, but also the microwave tends to thaw your rodent really unevenly. So when you feed the rodent, basically what happens, one part of the rodent might be fully defrosted, but then you might have another part of the rodent which is actually still frozen and hasn't fully defrosted yet. But also the part which has been defrosted from doing this in the microwave tends to be burning hot, which means that that part could potentially burn your snake. So in all honesty, please avoid using the microwave to defrost your rodents at all costs. And in all honesty, it's just really not a good way to defrost your rodents. So those are the main methods that we use to actually properly defrost our frozen rodents and thaw them so that they are safe and ready to feed to our snakes. So now I'm going to educate you on exactly how you can actually store your frozen rodents at home. So to actually store your frozen rodents, what I would recommend doing is getting yourself a Ziploc bag or an airtight container and simply place all of your rodents that you've purchased into this bag or container. Now, how long should you actually keep your frozen rodents in the freezer before they are determined as bad to feed to your snakes? In all honesty, there's quite a lot of diverse opinions on this. For the most part, it will usually last in your freezer for around 3 to 6 months. I tend to recommend to people that they are safe to feed if they have been in your freezer for up to 2 to 3 months. And I recommend this just to be on the safe side. And basically, the more you open that freezer door, so if it's in your normal freezer, in your kitchen, let's say, the more you're opening and closing that freezer, the shorter the amount of time that I would say it's safe to feed off. So for example, if you're constantly opening and closing that freezer door, I would lean more towards the 3 months being stored in your freezer. But if you're using a secondary freezer or a freezer which is just solely designated to frozen rodents, then you can most likely push it towards 5 to 6 months. And this is because the door isn't constantly being opened each and every day, so therefore it's going to last a lot longer. But like I say, for the most part, I would just personally recommend 2 to 3 months, just so you know that you're on the safe side. And then that way you know that your frozen rodents are certainly safe to feed to your snakes. So there we have it, guys. Now you have several methods to choose from to be able to properly defrost and thaw your frozen rodents at home. Let me know in the comments if you use any of these methods, but also let me know in the comments if you have other methods that you guys use. I'd certainly be interested to know what kind of methods you guys use. Like I say, these are the methods which I've used over the years. I will say that the best ones to use are probably the first 2 methods. Obviously, if you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to drop us a comment. And also, if you have any video suggestions, again, let me know in the comment section, because I'm always looking for more video ideas to make more content for you guys. Yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this video and I hope that you found it helpful. If you did, don't forget to drop us a like to let me know that you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to follow us on social media. Just simply type in @CoopsReptiles. And most of all, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. But yeah, thanks a lot for watching, and I suppose I shall see you in my next video. See ya!